Welcome to today's explainer. So, if you spent, any time at all online lately, you've definitely seen the absolute explosion of generative AI. And right along with it, a super heated debate. Everyone's arguing about whether this tech is just the modern-day equivalent of Photoshop or if it's actually something entirely different. Well, today, we're going to look at the data, the nuts and bolts of how these models actually work, and why the current conversation is completely missing a massive crisis that's looming right on the horizon.
So let's just dive right into it. Is AI just the new Photoshop? Honestly, on the surface, it's a completely fair question. When people talk about AI art, we naturally look backwards, right? The familiar argument usually goes something like this. Human artists have always embraced new mediums to speed up their workflow and push boundaries. People argue that, hey, previous tools didn't destroy human creativity, so neither will AI. And to really get that perspective, we got to look at the historical context.
Think about it. Historically, we've seen massive, game-changing shifts in creative mediums. We went from traditional painting to the invention of photography. Now, did painting die out? No, absolutely not. It just evolved into wild new movements like Impressionism. Same thing with music. We went from acoustic instruments to synthesizers, which literally birthed entirely new genres. We moved from physical illustration to digital illustration with Photoshop, and now, we are moving from traditional digital art to generative AI. The pattern is clear. When a new technology lowers the barrier to entry, human creativity doesn't disappear. It simply shifts.
This brings us to a crucial concept, the tool formula. In a healthy, thriving ecosystem, the tool handles the heavy lifting, the labor, while the artist focuses 100% on the vision, direction, and curation. If you view generative AI strictly through this lens, just as a tool, it follows that exact same historical pattern we just looked at. It lets creators rapidly prototype concepts, play around with visual styles in real time, and automate all that boring, repetitive production work. In this ideal scenario, artists master the software and just fold it into their broader creative arsenal to execute their own unique vision. Honestly, if the story ended right there, AI would just be the next great upgrade to our creative toolkit.
But as you might have guessed, the story definitely does not end there. The biggest threat to digital art isn't that humans will stop creating. The real debate isn't actually about whether people should or shouldn't use AI to make art. I mean, if AI were just another tool, we'd be totally fine. But generative AI isn't just a brush or a camera. There's an actual existential crisis looming just out of sight. And this crisis starts the second we examine how these models are trained and what happens when they inevitably run out of fresh human input.
Section 1, the synthetic data crisis. To grasp why this is a crisis right now, at this exact moment in history, we have to look at the sheer volume of cheap, automated AI spam flooding the internet today. The real problem isn't the software itself, it's the fundamentally altered environment that the software is operating in.
Let's put this into perspective. Past AI models were trained entirely on human-made original art. Every single brushstroke, every photograph, every digital painting the machine analyzed had real human intention behind it. But future AI training? Well, because literally millions of synthetic, AI-generated images are being dumped online every single day. Some estimates say over 15 billion AI images were created just last year alone. Future models are going to be trained on that exact same synthetic output. It's this terrifying feedback loop where the machine is no longer learning from us, it's just learning from itself.
In the world of computer science, this terrifying loop actually has a name. It's called model collapse. It's a recursive feedback loop where AI models degrade into pure noise by continually training on their own synthetic data. And this completely shatters the popular illusion that AI is this infinitely evolving magic tech that's just going to keep getting smarter and smarter forever. The reality is, without a continuous, fresh stream of authentic human work to learn from, the whole system mathematically breaks down.
Section 2, Anatomy of Model Collapse. So, how exactly does this breakdown happen under the hood?
To really understand the math here, just think about making a photocopy of a photocopy. It's kind of like copying a bad 90s cassette mixtape over and over again. Step 1. Your first scan of a fresh document is crisp, sharp, perfect. But in step 2, you take that copied paper, put it right back in the tray, and scan it again. Now imagine passing that same scan back through the machine 5, 10, maybe 20 times. By step 3, the details blur, the contrast totally washes out, and you are left with a degraded, unreadable mess. This is exactly what happens when you repeatedly run synthetic data through an AI system. It literally destroys the original crisp details. And this brings up a super fundamental truth that we often forget, mostly because the outputs look so amazingly convincing. Generative models do not actually understand what they are drawing. They are essentially flying blind. When an AI spits out a picture of a dog, it has no clue what a dog actually is. It doesn't comprehend art, or lighting, or emotion. It relies entirely on probability and statistical patterns. It's really just calculating which pixels are statistically most likely to go next to each other based on its training data. That's the whole shebang.
So, if we look at a healthy ecosystem, a model requires continuous human work to maintain a high variance of ideas and styles. But when model decay sets in and an AI is forced to train on synthetic data, well, because it relies completely on probability, it is mathematically forced to continually average out its results. Over time, the model loses all its variance. It literally smooths over the weird, rare, brilliant edge cases that make art so interesting to begin with. It degrades everything into this bland, homogenized paste. Rare brilliance is just completely erased in favor of the most boring mathematical average.
Section 3, the value of human friction. This technical decay we just explored reveals something absolutely profound. It highlights generative technology's core vulnerability, its absolute inability to generate authentic human experience.
Because authentic human art doesn't come from statistical averages. Not at all. It comes from friction, it comes from trauma, from profound joy, from reacting to political shifts, the urge for cultural subversion, the physical limitations of an artist's own body, and, my favorite, those late-night, messy mistakes that magically turn into accidental breakthroughs. These are the messy edge cases of human life. These elements are what give art its deep emotional resonance. And they are the exact elements that get averaged out and completely erased when an AI starts training on itself. The idea of a self-sustaining AI engine is a mathematical dead end. It's a complete illusion that inevitably leads to statistical noise. Authentic human creativity, on the other hand, is what actually powers the whole system. It's the most valuable commodity in the ecosystem. Using AI as an operational tool to speed things up, sure, that's great. But never forget that it is your raw, messy, uniquely human perspective that is the real engine here.
Which leaves us with one incredibly important question to ponder. As synthetic noise fills the web, what is your friction worth? Because right now, today, the internet is being flooded with statistical averages. And as that automated content takes over, authentic human flaws, raw emotion, and messy perspectives aren't just going to stay relevant, they are going to become the most irreplaceable, highly sought-after commodities in the entire digital ecosystem. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep creating, keep your friction alive, and I will see you next time.